Angela, continue reading. Don't worry about it if you haven't finished. Sorry. Thank you. All right. I just like a show of hands. All right. I just like a show of hands. How many here are human thinkings? Any human thinkings here? Oh, that's very nice. Okay. Thank you. Put your hands down. Human thinkings. How many here are human doings? Human doings? Okay, human thinkings and human doings. Thank you so much. And how many people here are human beings? Okay, I see 2 hands up. And the rest who didn't put hands up, can I know which planet you're from? Alright. Okay, now ladies and gentlemen, if you don't remember anything else from whatever I tell you tonight, right? Please remember this one thing. We are all human what? Beings, you know. And why do we need to emphasize this? Okay. Picture in your mind, you've been doing networking, right, this whole evening. You've sat down, you had your soup, you had your main course and all that. You meet people, right? Let's say, for example, let's say we don't know each other. Hi, I'm Elijah, and you are? Jessica. What's the next question that comes out of my mouth? What do you do? What do you do? Isn't it? Isn't that what you ask? How many here don't ask, what do you do? Don't ask. You do, right? Okay. So we are very concerned. We equate what we do with who we are. Right? But who we are is actually who we are. What we do is an expression of who we are. Right? So that is why I said if you don't remember anything else, remember that we are human beings. Okay? Now, right now, if for those of you who are still eating, just carry on, don't worry, okay? I'd like you to describe a circle with your forefinger and your thumb like this and raise it above your head for a little while, just a little while, right? Now, I'd like you to listen to me very carefully. Place this circle on your chin. Place the circle on your chin, please. Place the circle on your chin. Did you hear me? Place it on your chin, please. Right? Thank you. Hands down. What can we learn from this, ladies and gentlemen? Alright? Now, what did I say? Put the circle on your chin. What did I do? I put it on my cheek. Now, some of you from the very start are very good, or maybe you've done this before. You know, where I say put it on your chin, they were looking at me, maybe there was a disconnect, but they put the circle on their chin. Everyone else put the circle where? On the cheek, isn't it? Why? What does that tell us about ourselves? Somebody, quickly.
Monkey see monkey.
My friend Lita is absolutely right. Right? You know the phrase, isn't it? Monkey see, monkey do. Right? People see, people do.
You just call us human beings, then you made us monkeys.
I'm so sorry. Yeah? I was using that as an illustration. Alright? Yeah. But what does it tell us? You know, somebody once said this, you know. He said, your actions thunder so loudly above your head, I cannot hear the words that you are speaking. Actions speak louder than words. And actions, ladies and gentlemen, the way we present ourselves, even our words, but more so our actions, are a function of who we are. Right? Now, I'd like to tell you a story. If you're eating, carry on, please. I'd like to tell you a story. Several years ago, there was a married couple who were driving home one dark night. Right? It was raining a bit, the roads were slippery and so on. And they were silent in the car. Okay? How many married couples here have you ever driven home and you were silent in the car? Okay? Thank you. Hands down. And the reason they were silent is because they had just had a fight and argument. Who said dinner? It must be Gita. And so they were, you know, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to look at you and things like that. And suddenly the wife screams, George, look out! And what happens? They had an accident. right? And unfortunately, the man in this case, didn't walk away from the accident. And what interesting thing happened was this. He had actually voted in. Just now we talked about organ transplant. Somebody, who talked about it? Somebody, Nita again. Nita is the life and soul of the company. Later on, you should get to meet her. Right? She makes bags and all kinds of things. I'll let her introduce herself. But anyway, right? His heart somehow got transplanted into someone else and gave that person a new lease of life. Right? Now this person, one day, started to experience hallucinations, nightmares, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, the recipient of the heart, do they know where it came from?
Nope.
They don't, right? And the relatives of the heart that's donated also will not know to whom it was given, isn't it? Right? And they got in touch with the doctors got in touch with some researchers. Okay, so one evening, because this is hush-hush, you're not supposed to let people know who's the donor, who's the recipient. But somehow they got together at the request of this young man and at the request of the wife of the person whose heart had been given away, right, donated. And they met somewhere, alright, it was a dark, deserted building. They met somewhere, of course with an intermediary. And as they walked in, the wife suddenly said to this researcher, "He is here." And the researcher said, "What do you mean?" And the wife said, "My husband is here." Okay. And then they walked together, they met, introduced each other. And by the way, the recipient of the heart happened to be a Spanish-speaking person. Right? Speaking in Spanish. Doesn't know a word of English. Right? And the moment they met and shook hands, he said something. He said, "Everything is copacetic." Okay, copacetic, C-O-P-A-C-E-T-I-C. If you look up the dictionary, it means everything is okay. And this wife, who had lost her husband in a car crash, was startled out of her mind. And she said, where did he learn that word? Remember, this guy speaks Spanish, not a single word of English. And they said, the mother of this Spanish man said, he has been using that word ever since he got your husband's heart. So as time goes on, and by the way, you can Google this yourself, alright, and look for it. It's under a series of articles called The Heart Remembers. The Heart Remembers, okay? Now, and as we go on in science and increasing knowledge, we realize that there are many things about ourselves that we are discovering more and more. Right? How many of you, before I shared this with you, you thought that your heart was just a pump? Be honest. You thought your heart was just a pump. Boom, 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 boom. Right? But increasingly, there is more and more medical evidence that our heart actually stores memory. It stores emotions. Right? It is able to remember things. And it is part of who we are. Now, this whole thing about being, you know Calvin Klein? What does Calvin Klein do? Clothes, some more, perfumes and so on. He had a range of products called what? Starts with B. 2 letters. B. Alright? B-E. I believe it was a range of perfumes for men, am I correct? Or something like that. Okay. But he had the essence of it. Right? Be who we are. And the essence of being is being who we are. Now think about it. We read the papers every day. Right? We read of public figures, Are there people here who read the papers every day? If you read the papers every day, put up your hands. Oh, the rest of you don't. Okay, never mind. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, look at me. Okay. When we say raise your hands, okay, nowadays there is a wonderful piece of technology that is called Rexona. Alright? And so when you raise your hands, you don't need to do this. Because there's Rexona, you can do this. Alright, and free yourself. Okay, no need to worry about BO and all that. Okay, so next time I ask you to raise your hands, what do you do? What do? You raise your hands, right? Let's test whether your hands are working. Please raise your favorite hand now. Your favorite hand. Favorite hand. Okay, thank you very much. Some of you like Jonah not working. Alright. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, as I close with this story, right, reflect upon it. We read the newspapers. We read about people, alright, public figures who get into some indiscretions, shall we call it, right? And they say it's none of your business. It's my private life. Well, really, do we have a private life? Think about it. Right? Am I a different person in private than I am in public? Because if we are, then there will be a disconnect. We will not be in congruence with our own selves. And here, in this platform, what we do is we help people to be who we really are. And how many of you are happy with who you really are? Really happy with who you really are? Great. Thank you. Put your hands down. How many of us think that, yes, I'm happy with who I am now, but I'll be even happier if I can become better? Would you like to become better? We would, right? Yeah. So, we here help people to realize who we are and to become better. Right? There's one thing which I want to share with you, last thing. How many of you know what a qubit is? C-U-B-I-T. Anyone? C-U-B-I-T. This is quiz time. Okay? Maria knows. Anyone else knows? Yes, West knows. Of course you know it. Okay? But, okay, Maria, what's a qubit, please? Would you share with us?
Qubit is a unit of measurement. Okay? It's used in ancient, probably used in the Israeli Hebrew times in the Old Testament 2,000 years ago. It's 18 inches. Like Elijah said, it's like from here to here, from here to here, your heart. Okay, that's that. But it is the standard unit during the Hebrew days, 2,000 years ago, that is used to build temples and those places of worship.
Right. Thank you, Maria. Right. Give Maria a hand. By the way, it was also used in ancient Egypt, in Mesopotamia, in much of the ancient world. A cubit is actually a measure of your forearm from your elbow all the way to the tip of your finger, right? And it is roughly 18 inches. It is roughly about the distance from my head to my heart. Okay? And when we conduct courses on being, when we teach people how to be truly who we are trying to connect the head and the heart so that we flow together as one person. That's what we're trying to do. A lot of times we say, oh, this is business. You know, it's got nothing to do with my values. This is this and this is that. We are very good at compartmentalizing, aren't we? Right? That's my personal life. That's my school life. That's my work life. How many lives do you have?
9
lives. Well, I don't know about you, but I only have one life. Right? And ladies and gentlemen, what we figure is that if we live our lives as WYSIWYG, you know what's WYSIWYG? Who said that? Who said that? Okay, say it louder, please. What you see is what you get. Okay, what's your name again? Jessica said that. So if you want to know what WYSIWYG is, see her afterwards. Okay, that's an expression, WYSIWYG, right? Meaning to say, who you see in public, is the same person that you will see in private. And I think that is so important in today's society, definitely. Right. So ladies and gentlemen, if you cannot remember anything else, remember what I said at the start. We are human beings. Alright, thank you so much for your attention. I would now like to hand you over to the person who makes your world breathable with clean, pure, fresh air.